Incremental greetings. Let's continue the Supermemo course, the Pleasurable expansion. Now we have seen what fonts are. Fowl doesn't cover this explicitly, so let's continue. And now that I do understand what fonts are in the registry, in the Advanced English collection already has 4. I want to edit 1, because what I did before is just setting the answer the same as the question. It was already created. So exactly what I did, do you remember the key binding? Ctrl-Shift-F. So instead of asking, hey, in this component, point to the answer font registry member, which is the second. No, change that to the first one. I didn't add anything. By the way, all of this gibberish is so you can preview the font. This is super useful if you work with other languages. If you work with languages other than English, still a European, you can see all of the diacritics and all of that. So then I want to make this change, but I cannot edit the Supermemo CSS because it's not styling. Easy. Edit font. Now, I will just change the color to, let's say, teal. I'll make it even slightly bigger. You have the script here. I don't know exactly how this is required because I use UTF-8 fonts. Google Noto supports most of the languages. So I think that was needed many years ago for Greek, Turkish, and any other scripts that are not Latin. This is not required, I think. Not anymore. Feel free, if you are, for instance, Arabic, and you want to do it of right to left or something like that specifically, but I work with Chinese, Japanese, and even Greek at some degree, and I had no issues. Perhaps the spacing, something like that. Feel free to try this out. Then, I changed this. I changed the font. How is possible that I only affected this one? Because didn't I link the same one? Both were linking the question. Let me check any other place. Yes, it does. But for whatever reason, let me decrease. But again, for whatever reason, it doesn't update right away. It only updates the one you're using. So what you need is to just refresh the element window, and that's it. Nice. So now, remember, this is not part of the template. This is part of the text component. So now, if I change the background color to, let's say, white, hey, what is also changing the background of the text component? It's because it's not HTML component. You cannot specify the background color. In fact, if we go back to the font and edit, the only thing I can edit is strike out, underline the color, the script at some degree, the file size, the style if the font allows for more styles, and the exact font family. That's it. What's the background? There is not. Cool. So now what happens? Hey, look at this. The name of the sound is very hard to see now. No worries. But how can I edit? Okay, I want to edit that, but how? It's not a text component. It's a sound component. You're gonna still do that. Right click. Do you see you have sound? You have this extra menu, but hey, you have text, font, and link font. In this case, I will use a new font, and it will be gray. I want this to be really small, like 12, and narrow. Let's see what do I have. Yeah, I will do the Noto and thin. Okay, you can put by default the name will be the properties. It's good enough. What I suggest, for instance, is your intention. So for me, that will be sound name, and in parentheses, what it is exactly. Nice. So now if I go to any other place, this is kept. Why? Because the template is linking through the components. The components are linking font registry members. This is how it's meant to be used. But wait, you can actually do this with HTML components. Let me go back to my collection. Let me do a copy of this. Okay, I duplicated because I will mess around with this. Let's say that I want to highlight everything. I can make it bold, underlined, and stuff like that. Because it's an HTML component. Everything you can do, if you go to the edit panel, you have this as well here. Bold, italics, underlined, change the color of the current font. Wait. And set the font for the current component. This is confusing. Let's say that I want to highlight this. It's already highlighted, but with colors. So let's say I want flashcards to be in red. Set the current component. Let me change the color to red. Let's see what happens. Okay, that did the job. If we look into details, exactly what I did, look at this. I added a hard-coded font tag in HTML. And here you have the color. Actually, I have another one here that is empty, that I specified the size and so on. This is not what you want. You're not having any relationship with a font registry member. You are hard-coding the styling. So at the end of the day, it's not actually a font. It's still HTML that instead of using classes, like if you remember the color isolation and any other, that the color isolation was orange, instead of that, we're hard coding the color we want. But we haven't used any font registry member. Do you see we cannot link any font? But I can create a new font through an HTML component. This is very, very problematic. I wanted to make this clear, that it's possible to do, but in the next video we will see more precisely how it works, how you can use it in case you really want, and the use cases. See you in the next video.